Hello and welcome back to the 12th Man, episode 4. Special guest this week, Zach Lyttle, big Manchester United fan. We're going to be speaking a lot about United. He's buzzing to get on. Um,
Uh,
he's a massive fan of podcasting as well, so great to have you on, Zach.
oh,
Few topics we're going to
that's
speak
it.
about today. We're going to chat about Liverpool's fixture congestion. We're going to have a look back at what Klopp was saying at the weekend. Obviously we've seen that fascinating interview with Des Kelly. We're going to be touching on that. We're also going to be talking about United. Since Zach's on here, he's got a few. He might rattle a few fillers. What he's going to say. So it'll be interesting to hear what he thinks. Obviously the whole debate about Ollie and if he's good enough. We're going to be talking about Arsenal. Worst start to their season in 39 years. And does Mikel Arteta get away with it a lot? We're going to touch back on the big weekend game, Chelsea Spurs, and we're also going to look ahead to the European predictions. So for me, I know you're on, Zach, but there's only one place they start. It dominated the headlines this weekend, and it was Jurgen Klopp's interview with Des Kelly. So I want to get your immediate thoughts on what he was saying. Is it a valid argument what he was saying?
No, not really. That man's just trying to deflect away from a bad performance, like, as far as I'm concerned. Like,
Alright, so
uh,
you look at the game in general. And they didn't play well. Obviously they were unlucky with the first offside. It was like a toe offside. I can understand. There's a lot of debate around VAR at the moment. The second one was a mile offside. But apart from that, they didn't really create much in the game. Brighton missed a penalty. Conley missed a great chance in the first half, and they were quite lethargic. So do you think this was sort of like a tactic they deflect away from a bad performance?
because they had a good bit of possession, but shots and all. Like, I think Brighton had the better opportunities. Like, and they're missing one of their key men too, Lamptey. Like, I think he's a good player. Like, so.
It would have made a huge difference. But see, he's a smart man, Klopp, because he knows by talking about this that it's opened up this whole debate around it, and no one's actually talked about how poor Liverpool were in the game. So it's almost like it's took all the pressure off, how poor they were in the game.
But when they're playing well, he doesn't start talking like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
a bit Leicester last week, and there was no mention of it then. Like,
yeah, and I was actually looking at the game the show last night when Gary Neville was saying Carragher, and I think it was 92, 93, Manchester United had 12 30 kickoffs in the whole season. And Liverpool's only had 3 12-30 kickoffs since September 2019 after a Champions League week. So
the favour's always on their side. Like, I'm not going to be biased or anything. Like,
so there's no unfair advantage for me.
No, definitely
I actually had a quick look at this as well. If you compare them to Man City has actually played the same night as Liverpool in the Champions League. So they basically had summer kickoff times.
They're both in easy groups too, Gary.
If you look at these games, right, Liverpool's only had 1 12-30 kickoff this season after a Champions League game. Man City have had 2. Days between where they've only had 2 days rest.
They're both in Booker groups as well, like, so they have chance to rest players, like.
Big time, and Liverpool only had 4 games, so they've 2 days rest. They've had 5 games, so they've had 3 days rest. Man City have identical records. And if you look about all the rest time between both games, Liverpool have actually had 5 hours extra rest than Man City. And you don't hear Pep complaining about fatigue and all this stuff. So
No,
it's one of them ones.
No, it's not valid. Like, I'm definitely not valid.
It's one of them ones where they've lost that player to injury, Milner, and it's almost like we have to change the whole schedule because one player gets injured.
You see, like, they don't talk about other teams having injuries too. Like, it was all talked about that Leicester match as well. And Didi's out, and your man Sinitri's out now. Like, so other teams have injuries. They were blessed last season with not having injuries. So it's just about time to get one twisted. What's that?
Pereira was out injured as well, wasn't he, the right back?
Ricardo Pereira too. I forgot about him. But it's only Liverpool get injuries. You see, that's all. You know what I mean? Yeah. Nobody else gets injuries.
Do you think that sort of the media is sort of biased towards Liverpool?
They were blessed last season with.
Do you think they are quite biased towards Liverpool times?
100%. I mean, watch a match today one day, and United won like 4 or 5-0, I think it was, and they were talking about the opposition being poor, but then when Liverpool won 4 or 5-0, it's simple in football and all this. Like, so. Definitely, media's completely on their side.
Alright.
And they're good.
The big thing as well was, for me, if you go back to the interview, was he was complaining, your man Des Kelly, the reporter for BT, and he was saying that congratulations, you got him injured. Not him himself, but BT. But what I find quite baffling was that BT don't pick these slots. BT get told there's a 12:30 game and they have to pick from it. The Premier League pick the slots. So there's 12:30 game, half 5 game, a 7:15 game, 9 o'clock game, and so on. So they have to pick the games that they get told 12:30 pick a game. And obviously because Liverpool and Man United's got a big following in Asia, they have to pick players, pick matches based on that schedule. So it just doesn't valid any argument.
Time that suits Simmons.
I think Gary Neville spoke about it last night. There's this 12:30 kickoff's not going to go away on a Saturday. It's always going to be there. It's been there since 1992, since the Premier League started.
No, exactly. It's always been there.
What are you going to do about it? Like, I just didn't get the whole argument, and I know a lot of people think you're not seeing Klopp's point of view. I understand that there's players getting injured. There's more muscle injuries this season than ever before, but you just have to get on with it. There's nothing you can do.
That's it. No, that's it. It's, as you say, it's been there from where in 1992. So it's always going to be there, like. But Klopp's just going to take it away from a bad performance, like. But sure, he never's chatting like that when they're winning, like. So I don't really get it myself.
Yeah. So we're going to move on, chat about your boys, United.
Side, hey. What a machine at the minute, guy.
They're a machine at the minute. Since that Spurs game, how do you think they bounce back? Like, how do you think it's been good?
We went straight on the international break after it, and then I was sort of worried then about coming back after the international break. But ever since then, we sort of kicked on with the one we blip against Arsenal. Don't know how, like, because I was shocked, like, we were a bit better. Shouldn't be getting a bit better pub side, like Arsenal, like, as far as I'm concerned, like, they're fucking awful. But no, we've bounced back well, but Ollie definitely unfair criticism, like, I call him a PE teacher, like, and his record against the big managers and everything, like, it speaks for itself, like.
See, since the Spurs game, do you think the system's obviously been changed because they were quite open in the first few games, weren't they?
Well, he sort of was reverted back to that two in the defensive midfield, Fred and McTominay. But I don't like that, like myself, because I want to see United on the front foot and playing attacking football. But it's just hiding the gaps, like, at the back, because Maguire is not living up that price tag, and Lindelof, like, he doesn't get as much stick as Maguire, like, because of price, obviously. But I would probably still rather have Lindelof and Maguire, like.
You think that the way you were saying, there's a lot of criticism of his PE teacher, he's not good enough, but for me, they looked on that United game, they lost 6-1. He obviously thought that we can't play this open style of football. We're going to get beaten games. We're open. It's like a game of basketball. So do you think that maybe his credit that he's changed the system, he's found a system that is getting results, shows you how good he can be as a manager?
Well, that's what he's had to do, like, because it's a results game business, like, at the end of the day. So he's definitely had to go back out there. But when we played, I know it's only Istanbul, but when he played that there, in the midfield, it was a wee bit more open, a wee bit more energy. Fred, Van de Beek, Fernandes, like, I like the look out there, but as you say, like, I don't know if he can do that against the big teams, like.
Yeah, well, that's that. You need that protection against the big boys, don't you? Because if you've seen it when they opened up against top class players, can go badly wrong. But I want to touch on one of the big things for me that's happened since the United game or the Spurs game. And in these games, United have been doing well. Pogba hasn't really been playing. So do you think that him not playing as benefits United at times? I know he's a good player, but do you think sometimes United are just are a better outfit without him?
I just think the Premier League's too fast for him. I think if he was in the Serie A or is in the La Liga, he'd be a lot better, like, because he's slow, like, he doesn't have enough energy. I don't think for Premier League, like, and I don't think he'd go to any other Premier League team and do any other better, like, because we've had Mourinho, like, Mourinho couldn't get the best out of him, like, so it's not just Solskjaer, like.
So at the moment,
no, I don't really like Pogba, like, but I would love to see him on alongside Fred, like, in that centre defensive midfielder. No, because Fred can sort of play the Kente role. I'm not comparing him to Kente, but, like, he has that energy, low centre of gravity, and get across the ground. Like, I'd like to see him on there along with Fred and then Fernandes and Van de Beek. I like a diamond, like, for United in the midfield. Like.
Exactly. As fans, we all want to see attacking football. But so you think maybe if he plays with McTominay, he's strong enough, they possibly play the two in front with Fernandes and Van de Beek, can fit them two in?
No, well, I would have Fred over McTominay. I think Fred's I think Fred's very underrated, so he is.
Good play. Aye, he's tidy on the ball. I think the big thing for United is consistency. That's the one thing you would say. Fred, he can be inconsistent, but on his day he can be quite a good player. I think Van de Beek, since he's come on, in the games I've seen, he's made a real difference.
He's brilliant on the ball. Like, that's what you need. You need quality on the ball.
Bruno, I think he's been harshly treated as well. I mean, we're going to get chatting about him, but people call him a penalty merchant, and a lot of his last few goals have been open play goals. And he almost, when I look at him, I would compare him. People talk about Harry Kane, being a silent leader. You almost feel that he can be this. He's like a silent leader. He doesn't shout. He doesn't know. He just set an example. He does score important.
He should be like captain. Like, he should be the captain. He's a leader. Like, and boys that are chatting Fernandes have no clue about football, like, because he's fucking, in my eyes, like, he's the best player in the league at the minute. Definitely.
What's up?
He is the best at the minute.
I don't know about that.
He is. No, he is. Like, his stats came up here in that Chelsea match. I think it was the United match. 25 since he came on, 25 goals and assists since his debut. I think Harry Kane's in 23. So like, I'm talking from January, like, since he came on, he's definitely been the best player. Like, and I don't even think it's up for the big guy, to be honest.
I was going to say, do you think he'd get on any team in the league?
Aye. Well, what team would he not get on?
Well, I was going to say, if you had a choice between Bruno and Kevin De Bruyne, who would you pick? Or can they play together?
They can play together, because Man City play with, like, you've full Foden, De Bruyne, and you've Rodri in. Like, so if United just had a good centre defensive midfielder, like, we could play with Fernandes and Van de Beek. So you could play Rodri, De Bruyne, and then Fernandes. Like,
I'm going to last person we chat to before I sort of get your outlook on United. The last person I want to bring up, because he had a big impact on the game at the weekend, was Cavani. Now, a lot of people again, when he signed on deadline day, and I was one of them, I'm going to hold my hands up. I thought panic buy, not because I know he was a free transfer, but a panic last day of the window. Just could be Spurs 6-1. Who do we get? It was available all summer. I wouldn't really looked at him, and I thought, you know what? I don't think this is going to work. I think it could be an Falcao situation. Where his best days are behind him. But I have to say, when he come on suddenly he really changed that game, and he gave a masterclass in movement, somewhere in goals. No,
well, it definitely was a panic buy, like, but as they say, like, form's temporary and class is permanent. I think he's been fucking. I don't know, like, he's not going to do it over 40, 50 games a season. Like, he's too old. Like, so I'm just waiting for him to get an injury. Like, but he's a short seller. Like.
That's what you're looking for as well. But I think when he comes on, you need a goal. That's what you want. He's never going to be a starter, I don't think. But if you need a goal, and now you've seen what he can do off the bench, I think that's what he's been brought on. You know what I mean? And I will stick up for Ollie, because I do think he's been unfairly treated. All right, he hasn't won a trophy, fair enough. But he come on, United were on their knees. United were on their knees when he came on. He was on that great run.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Maybe he got the job based on it, and maybe things didn't go as well after that. But he has steadied the ship. This is United's best spell since Ferguson's left. They seem to be getting better every season in terms of players. I think consistency is the big one for him. I think if they can get that trophy, but they finished in the top 4 last year. Was it third or fourth? He's finished third, fourth, third.
Third.
They're only
That's what I'm saying. No one talks about Frank Lampard. Like, and he finished above Lampard. Like, beat him 3 times last season. So it's just
everybody was raving about Frank Lampard the other day, about how good Chelsea are.
Exactly. It's because he's anybody with Manchester United is going to be under a microscope. Like, so I don't really pay much heed to it. Like, but I'm happy enough with all it. Like, I'm not saying he's world class. Like, it's yet to be proven, but he's for the meantime, like, he's a man for the job. Like, he knows United inside out. Like, so
we've been speaking about the last few weeks. And I've actually said, no matter what happens, he should get to the end of the season. Because I
will get the end of the season. These last couple of results, anyway.
I think if they don't finish in the top 4, then you can maybe look at it again and say, well, maybe we need to change it. But I want to get your sort of thoughts on where you think United could finish this year. I'm going to say, where do you think they could finish, and where do you think they will finish? So where do you think they could finish? What's the height of their success this year? If everything goes right for them, they keep their best player. Where do you think they could finish?
Well, I'm going to look like a madman, but there's that many teams this year going to league, like, so there shouldn't be like out of sight yet, like, because
you look at the
a
league
game in hand
table,
or 2 points off Liverpool, and if you had told me that thing,
2 points behind the top, Liverpool and Spurs. If he's won your game in hand, you're only, so there's no, and that's he's be level in Chelsea. If he's had to play the same amount of games and say you won your game in hand, you'd be level with Chelsea, and everyone's raving about Chelsea about how good they are.
Exactly.
So you think they have an outside chance in a strange season of doing it?
Definitely, yeah. No, 100%. If you had told me 9-10 games into the start of the season, it would be 5 points off Liverpool, a game in hand against Burnley, I'll be telling you, like, I'll take it, like.
Well, I'll tell you what, especially after that Spurs game, I'll tell you what as well, I mind watching Transfer Deadline Day, and I think Carl Redknapp top Spurs to be up there this year challenging around the league, and Jamie Redknapp was laughing at him. Other people were laughing, and even I thought, geez, that's a mad statement, but it is a strange season. It just shows you go on a run of 1 in 3 or 4 games, and you're right back under the mix.
Exactly. It's far better, like, the way it is, like, you'd rather have everybody competing instead of, like, the last couple of years it's just been Liverpool and City rolling away with it. I'd rather have it being exciting up there, like, and at Liverpool with injuries, like, I'd be struggling to see them it's getting even top 4, like.
Really? You think
I know it's a mad statement, but I don't think
Liverpool could struggle.
What?
We'll get that in a minute. We're gonna have
I think that's
chat on where teams might finish, but so you think it ended up an outside chance? If they be consistent, of course they have an outside chance. But where do you think?
We'll definitely be in the top 4.
Really, Oscar, in your head, I was going to say, what do you think they'll finish in the top 4?
Definitely top 4. 100% within the top 4. It will be in the top 4. Too much quality.
I think it could be one of them years, but there might only be like 10 points between first and fifth or something like that. Because I actually don't know what he was last week. 10 days ago now. I think Liverpool. I said Liverpool could just beat Leicester, and they looked like they were going to just go on a mad run, and they were going to wipe the floor again. Now Leicester got as well, and you look at Leicester the last few games. They bit last night as well, and actually, I think we were chatting about it before the game. You said you actually fancy Fulham. And I said, what drugs are you on? And I thought, no chance. Fulham beat them. So maybe Leicester.
No, I did fancy Fulham last night because I see a negative football league, and I know it's working for Spurs at the minute, but Brendan Rodgers, I just don't like watching his football, and I just says last night, Fulham need to win, like, and Leicester, like, when I watched them against Liverpool, I was just, oh Jesus, they're not the team that everybody's making them out to be at the start of the season, like.
See another thing as well, and this is something like we're going to move on to an hour manager playing negative football, but just as a general consensus, why do you think a lot of teams are playing negative football? Like, you look at Rodgers last night at home, Fulham, he had 5 at the back of him against Fulham at home, like, and you see a lot of these managers, they're calling it a 3-4-3, but it's 5. It's the 2 fullbacks, the 2 wingers are fullbacks. So what do you think? I can understand if Leicester's going away to Liverpool.
It's a 5-3-2, like.
I completely understand that. They're home to Fulham, just no option, same tactics. What do you think a lot of teams are being negative?
I think a lot of managers are just afraid to lose their job now because, like, not much managers get that long in football, like, so I think it's all about a results business, and if you set up hard to beat, like, you're going to have a chance, like, do you know what I mean? And right there, you can make a 1-0, 2-0 maybe.
I just can't understand why all these teams are either playing 5 at the back or 2 holding midfielders, and some are playing with both. And I think you could argue one team that are playing with both at the minute is Arsenal. And we're going to move on and chat about Arsenal now because what is going on there at Arsenal? I mean, they have gone this season. I'm a Spurs fan, so I'm not really too displeased with it. But it's just like an absolute mess. From top to bottom, the whole way through. Now, I'm going to stick up for Arteta as well in some situations because I do think the players aren't good enough. but it's the whole hysteria around him that he's this great manager. I mean, I remember all the cheerleaders right after they beat Hughes 1-0, and I have to be honest, it was one of the worst games I've ever watched. 2 teams that were completely short of confidence. Arsenal, probably shaded it, but it wasn't any great stretch of a game. You think about the great Arsenal performances over the years, it wouldn't even be in the top 10. They needed a penalty and they won it. It was a game of quality. But since then as well, they've been exposed. They haven't won a game since. They've lost 2 and drew 1. I think there's a game they drew with Leeds, and they were lucky to get a result there as well. So, what do you think's happening at Arsenal at the moment? What's the issue?
I don't know, but like after that Arsenal match, like who was it? Was on Sky Sports? Tim Cahill, was it? He was running raving about Arteta, and Roy Keane was just putting him in his place. He was just saying, like, no, like, many games of Arsenal lost already this season. Like, it was They got 1-1 against us, and it wasn't even a goal from open play. We were brutal that day, so I don't know understand the hype about Arteta, to be honest. Like,
They
so
lost 5 games out of 10 already, right?
it was right like Roy Keane, like.
They lost 5 games out of 10. They're struggling big time to score goals. You look at Aubameyang, he looks like a complete shadow of himself. He looks short of confidence. They've handed him a big contract as well, and that's looking like a big mistake at the moment. And you can say already it's a drought, but I mean we're 10 games into the season. This isn't a run of 4 or 5. It's just 10 games. This is a quarter away. We're over a quarter away through the season now. He scored 2 goals. One was a penalty. One was the third goal, a 3-0 win against Fulham in the end of the season. He's not getting chances. The other way when a team maybe batters a team, and it can happen 2-3 games ago. They just can't put the ball in the net. Players must 2 or 3 chances. That's not happening. They're not even creating at all. You know, I just don't know. When United, teams, you know, they look like they're still able to turn it around. You might have a game, then they come back and they bounce back. Wait, there isn't a bounce back. With Arsenal at the moment, they're getting worse every game.
No, and it doesn't get any easier now. Like, if I don't fancy them, they get a result against Houston, like.
I think if they lose that game, you know, the spotlight's going to be really on them. But even this week, still there's not a lot of talk around Arteta. I think if this was Ollie and they lost 5 of their first 10 games, they all the Pippers, you know, they'd be out. You know,
they'd be looking for him out.
I think with Arteta,
you're always going to be under a bigger microscope at Man United.
I can't believe he said this, but he dresses well, sort of looks well. He's Pep's number 2. He gets away with it because of that. You know, people think, oh, he's Pep's number 2. You know, he must know his stuff. I don't know.
I call him a B-Tech Guardiola, like, so.
But see, the thing I would say is a lot of the style of play doesn't resemble Guardiola. It's very defensive. There's an argument that they're the most defensive team in the league. They're a bit like Burnley. They've only Burnley created less chances than them, so they're the 19th on chances created. They've only Aubameyang's had 13 shots in 10 games. You know, that's seriously worrying. So I just don't know how they're going to turn it around. That just shows that they could be missing Ozil, like. Well, that was a big statement to leave him out. I couldn't understand that. If they didn't say anything, he's saying it's football and reasons. He's been left out, Arteta. But this is the problem, I think. Arsenal got somebody in that they could control, almost like an hour puppet, where if it's a big manager like a Mourinho or an Ancelotti or Simeone, you know, he doesn't let this stuff go on. I think Arteta was just happy to get the job. I think Ozil, he was playing before the lockdown. There was big issues with the wages and not taking the wage cut, and then there was an issue with racism or something. And I think Arteta's been told not to play him. I think he's come out and said it's football and reasons. It shows you that he's not strong enough to, you know, make his own decision, and he's been told, right. I think any top manager says, no, I'm the manager, I pick the players. But he's on 350 grand a week, and he's literally doing live streams on Twitter during a game. Like, it's embarrassing.
It's madness. Like, boys are out there getting 350 grand a week, like, for not even playing football. Like, it's madness. Like, and he's as I said earlier on the video, like, form's temporary, class is permanent. Like, Mesut Ozil, like, he's one of the best playmakers in the world. Like, so I can't understand how.
You can't even have him on the bench.
Why he's not? If it's for football reasons, why he's been left out? Because.
They're not creating anything. Nobody in the team like him, so it can't be football reasons. I mean, you can tell me, you look at that Arsenal squad, there's not a place in the squad for him. You know, at 20 players, he's definitely good enough to be at least on, you know, in games when you're up against these low blocks, or I think they're called low blocks now. It's part of the bus now. When Arteta does it, it's a low block. But when you're up against these teams that do sit back, and you need a bit of creativity, Ozil's your man, isn't he?
Yes, I would have him on the team anyway. Like.
I want to ask you, how does Arteta change this? Because I look at this. If you look at the situation last year, Emery lost his job this time last year, and they have less points now, and we're 3 games behind. But for him to get the same amount of points as Emery, they have to get at least 5 points from the next 3 games. So if they're sitting on the next 2-3 games and they've less points, how does he keep his job?
Like who is the next 3 games?
Well, like, who is it? Burnley at home, Southampton at home. Well, the way they're playing,
the only really match I see them picking up points there is Burnley.
Well, I think
Burnley are brutal. Like, they should beat Burnley, but I don't see them beat nuisance in it.
The only thing I would say is...
What's that?
The only thing I would say is sometimes in a derby game, form can go out the window. And it's the type of game where Arsenal style might suit them. It's going to be interesting because I think it's going to be And this is, don't get me started on this negative football these lines, because this is the type of game I think Spurs should be going and attacking. I know against Man City and Chelsea, maybe you can sit back. Fair enough, it's worked. But I think this is the type of game where Spurs need to try and stamp their authority on it. They've got better players than Arsenal. No reason to sit back here. But I can see Mourinho being cautious. I can see Arteta being very cautious, and I can actually see it being a very boring game. And it coming down to maybe one goal. But say if they really lose this game, you think Ennie's got possibly 1 or 2 games to turn it around or his history. I mean, you just can't see it, because it'll become a point where if they lose the next couple of games, their chances of top 4 are completely gone. They have to change it, or haven't even got an outside chance.
No. Spurs, even talking on Spurs, if Spurs don't go out and attack against Arsenal, that's my reasoning for thinking that you won't win the league, because you should be going out and attacking against Arsenal. I can understand Man City, most teams are going to go out and set up offensively against them, but Spurs have to take initiative.
I don't think you can win a league playing this way. Not just for 38 games. Maybe get away with it, maybe against the bigger teams.
No, 38 game season is not sustainable.
I mean, you have to look at it. Over 10 games, Spurs are playing a team that's 14th in the league. Spurs are top. So, I mean, if this was only sitting 14th, you wouldn't be saying, oh, let's sit back. And Spurs have to attack them. Yes, there's going to be a chance of getting caught out in the counter-attack, but you have to trust your players here. And this is the thing. I think with Chelsea and Spurs, if you look at that game on Sunday, it was still 2 managers that don't completely trust their players. If you look at that Chelsea Spurs game, if Frank really trusted these players, he'd have said, right, we're going to attack Spurs. We've got the attacking talent to hurt them. But you seen at the start of the season, they conceded 3 against West Brom, 3 against Southampton. Spurs conceded 3 against West Ham. These are 2 managers that don't completely trust their teams. They have to play a negative style. They make sure they don't concede goals. And then they're trusting their attacking talent. They maybe 1 or 2 chances they try and score. And I think he can do it. There's going to be at some stage of the season where Kane and Son have a dip. They can't play like this. I don't think they can play like this every single week where you get 1 chance or 2 chances and you have to bury them. There's going to be a time where they maybe, with the season as well, the way it is, you could be missing some of these players for 2 or 3 games with injuries. So you have to be able to adapt, and you have to be able to, flex your muscles a bit. And this is the big argument I have. I don't think you can win a league playing this way.
No, they definitely have to go on the front foot against Arsenal.
And it's the same.
I don't even think that's why I'm saying you should beat Arsenal Sunday, or is it Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday 4:30.
I don't even think Arsenal will be in the top half of the season. And I'm being deadly serious, because there is loads of decent teams and I don't think Arsenal's a decent team. I just think they're below average.
Like the league, you look at teams like Leeds, Villa, Brighton as well.
West Ham,
Leicester, Wolves, West Ham. All these games are difficult. You're playing West Ham on Saturday, and you'll be going, that's a very difficult game.
There's no easy games anymore.
Easy games. And when it comes to Arsenal, I can see why Arteta's been cautious in some of these games, but they're now trying to make up points. For them to get in the top 4, they cannot get top 4 playing this way, trying to grind out results. You just can't do it. So,
no, I don't fancy Arsenal at all. Hey, honestly, I'd be shocked if they were in the top 10 this season. That's too bad there.
You look at these teams like Brighton, Leeds, Villa. They all attack. I watched West Ham and Villa last night. That was one of the best games I've seen this season. Some of the Villa play was brilliant. Brighton against Liverpool, I thought they didn't sit back against Liverpool. They took the game though. Leeds, every team they play, all right, sometimes they get beat, but they go out and they attack. Arsenal, they completely played Arsenal for most of that game. Liverpool in the first game of the season, Leeds didn't think first game of the season away to Anfield, let's not get embarrassed. Let's try and keep the score down. They said we're going to attack, and they were lucky now to get a result. So
that was probably the best match of the season there.
All these teams are being positive, whereas some of the top teams, you could look at United in recent games, Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal being so negative. Leicester playing with 5 at the back. It's crazy.
When you're the bigger club too, but there's more responsibility. And we clubs don't have nothing to lose. So
that is the thing too. There's a lot of pressure, and sometimes I think let's not try and lose a game. And I can understand. So basically, we've sort of touched on most of these teams that are in the top 6. So just want to get your thoughts on who do you think will be top 4, and what's your top 4 in order? If you had to pick it now, I'm only 10 games on. If you had to pick it, what would your top 4 be?
It's wild hard, hey, because I don't fancy City or Liverpool. They won the league, and then I don't see why I'd be putting Chelsea or Spurs ahead of United at the minute. So I'll go United first to be controversial. I'll go United first, and then I'll go second, Chelsea. Oh, Spurs third and City fourth.
Liverpool's not going to make a top four, and United's going to win the league. He's right. The season with a Liverpool fan if this goes the other way. But I tell you what, if it goes in your favour, you're the first man they called. I don't think anyone's topped United. They won the league, so if they do win it, then you were the magic man. You topped them. So.
Well, like as I say, like I don't see City. Liverpool won the league this year, so I'm not going to put Spurs and Chelsea ahead of United because I don't think these are much above us. Like, so why not just put United on there first?
Interesting to see. Next few games is going to be crucial. So moving on, European. It just seems this football is mental. There's games every night. So
it's brilliant.
It's a Saturday, and then for it's a Tuesday. Especially in these podcasts, I've been doing it's almost like you don't get a chance because you're just trying to catch up on all the football. But yeah, big match tonight for Liverpool. Champions League's back. We're going to look at all the games tonight. But Liverpool's playing Ajax tonight. That's going to be a really interesting game because according to Klopp, they're struggling to find the team. So I said I joined the club because I think one days last year we had somewhere just be Kane, Son, Sissoko, everyone. We had an attacking player. Alderweireld was out. We lost loads of players. Lloris was out. So you do get seasons where you lose players to injury. It just seems to be not going for you. Liverpool have been lucky enough over the last couple of years with injuries. So this
no injuries.
It's awful. When you think about that style of play, the amount of pressing that they do, it's going to eventually catch up with you. But by game night against the Ajax, if they don't win that, pressure's going to be really on them to get out of this group. So how do you think that could go? How do you think that'll go, Liverpool Ajax tonight?
Well, like the first leg, like Liverpool had the full 11 out, like, and I thought the Ajax were the better side, and they got a lucky own goal, like.
I mean, watching that game, it was a really poor game, but I mean, watching it, it was an awful game. I think it was 1-0 OG. Right.
No, so obviously I would fancy Ajax tonight, but there's no danger of Liverpool going through. Like, they will go through because like I could get a team from Derry, like I know, and bit Midtjylland, like, so they will bit Midtjylland, like, in the last game of the group. Like, that's all they need.
Got that banker in the last game, haven't they, against Midtjylland? But
so they'll definitely go through.
I think they'll turn it around tonight. I think they will. They have to put on a performance. They can't play that. They were awful against Atlanta at home. There's no way 2 games in a row against this.
Ajax play good football. Hey, I don't think they'll beat Ajax tonight.
It won't be easy, but I think they will get the result.
I don't think.
I think they'll 1-2-1, but it'll be tight. I wouldn't be surprised. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw or Ajax nicked it. But that's just a game you fancy Liverpool. They have to respond. They have to get back to 1-1 easy. I think. Also, Man City's playing tonight. They're away to Porto. If they fancy doing that.
Their BC side will be better than Porto's. Like,
I'm gonna be all the teams. Man City had probably the easiest group. This was, they've been playing second strength teams in this, and they've still won games, haven't they? But what do you think, Man City? You think Man City's still going to struggle, but they seem to be missing something, don't they, this year?
I think in the league they struggle, but I don't know. Like, they've been going at this Champions League now for a few years. I think they could do well in the Champions League this year, like, because like they still have quality all of it. It's like I highly rate Man City, but
they're better suited to a cup competition this year, and this might be the year that they, if they're going to win it, this will be the year for them. I don't think they will win it because I don't think they're good enough defensively, but I think that this is going to be their year because I don't think they'll be in the title. I don't think they'll be in the title picture come the end of the season. So I think this will be one that they'll have their eye on for the like.
I think Man City have a good chance of winning the Champions League definitely this year. But no, the league, they won't win the league because I think they've dropped too many points already at the start of the season, and then I can't see them clawing it back. Like, Guardiola seems to be all over shoot them up.
The key will be keeping De Bruyne fit, and if he's on it, they can win any game because he can produce. But I think just up front they're short. Unless he signs a striker in January, they're going to struggle. Jesus must have too many chances. He's not Aguero. They relied on him for years.
No,
I think they'll win tonight, but I don't think they'll be good enough overall. To be honest, I think Bayern Munich.
They won the Champions League.
I think Bayern Munich will be the team to beat again.
I think it'll be an English team this season.
He said that, didn't he? He said he fancied an English team. It's very similar to Premier League. It's very open. Look at PSG final last year. They're no great shakes, and we're going to look at them now because Wednesday night, big game, United against PSG. How you looking forward to this one?
No.
You think it's a bit
no, not really, because it's I don't like having like if United were like second or like in PSG's position and we had to go and beat PSG, I would enjoy it better. But because we have to go out, I think we're going to go out and try and get a draw. And when you go out looking for a draw, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it.
Like group, because everyone's beating Istanbul, aren't they? So it's almost like it's a 3-team group because Istanbul beat you. This is where United's got their points. It's been against PSG and Leipzig, so 2 draws will be enough. But as you say, sometimes I think in a manager
One draw would be enough.
Would it? Well, I think sometimes it's in the back of your head. You're right about let's try and get a draw. It can sometimes have a negative impact on the game.
Because it goes to head to head. Like if it's I know at the end of it. So if we were to draw with PSG tonight, PSG would be in 7, we'd be in 10. So if PSG beat Istanbul in the last match and we got beat by Leipzig, we go through and head to head because we beat PSG 2-1 like at the Parc des Princes.
I think regardless of what happens, I think he just all gets on against Leipzig anyway. But because I don't think they're the team they used to be. I don't think they've lost Werner up front. They've lost a couple of hours. I think he's definitely finished on top 2. But predictions, I've actually gone for 2-1 United tonight. I think, or tomorrow night. I think United will win. Mainly because I think PSG have to win. I think they can't afford to lose no draw. I think they're going to have to go out and attack. I think it's going to suit United.
I have them to counter attack.
They have a good record against PSG. They've beat them the last 2 times they played them. And that'll be in the back of PSG's minds. And I don't think they're the strongest team mentally when it comes to these games. So I think Chelsea. I think United will win against PSG. Sevilla's playing Chelsea in the morning as well. I think it's just basically going. Both these teams are through, so it's just they see who finishes first. It makes a big difference, to be honest. I don't think anymore. So it'll be interesting to see which way this goes. What do you think? How do you think that'll go?
I fancy Chelsea. I fancy Chelsea to beat them. Definitely fancy Chelsea to beat Sevilla. I don't think Sevilla's as strong as they were.
I just think I've gone for a draw. I don't think
they lost your man Reguilon, didn't they? The Spurs.
Reguilon, he looks like a good signing for Spurs, doesn't he? I think it's one of the both teams. They'll not overcome it. Both teams will want to top the group, but I think it'll be a draw. If it's a score draw, so it's Chelsea, because the first game was 0-0. So Chelsea only need a score draw to be ahead and the head record, as you say. So I think Chelsea is trying to score and maybe get a score draw here, and that'll be enough for them.
But you could be right. The draw, because they drew the last match too, didn't they? 0-0.
I was talking about this last week before the predictions on the Champions League. I think Chelsea have an outside chance in this Champions League this year, because you look at the players they have. You look at someone like Thiago Silva at the back, who knows, how to, he's a winner and about. I think Chelsea have an outside chance. You look at the players they have up front, if they can click. And the thing about cup competitions is you don't have to be consistent. You can have, you play 2-legged ties. You don't have to play well in one, and then maybe be defensive in the other one. Like the year Spurs got to the final, they didn't play that well in it. They lost something like 5 games and got to the final. If you look at the group stage, they lost two in that. They lost the Ajax and City, and they're one of the games each. You don't have to do that to get to the final. I think Chelsea could be dark horses.
Definitely. I know Chelsea could. That's what I'm saying. Like I do, it'll be one of the English teams that won it. That's my prediction. Like I don't think. I think Bayern's will be a wee bit controversial, but I think Bayern's a wee bit overrated. Like they were brilliant last year. Like, but they didn't really like. Who did they play on the way? Like Barcelona. Like Barcelona's a bucket side. Like.
Messi just seems to be causing more trouble in his warfare. They beat PSG in the final, and they beat Lyon.
Man City should have been beating Lyon. Like, and I don't think Bayern Munich would have rolled over Man City. Man City just choked against Lyon.
Hammered Spurs in the group stages, and they hammered Chelsea in the last 16. But Chelsea look a far stronger team now. I'd be interested to see if Bayern Munich come up against Liverpool. That would be an interesting tie, wouldn't it? See how that went.
I have Liverpool at a fully fit team. I'd fancy Liverpool.
A fully fit team.
I know I'm well biased against Liverpool, but I said it last season, they were lucky to escape injury, so we'll just see.
We're going to move on anyway. Thursday, you're like, I'm going to fight for this because this competition just seconds. To be honest, that's a
Coronation Street.
What's that?
Coronation Street on a Thursday night.
This is awful. Some of the football, I swear to God, the teams Spurs played last week. They were awful. The centre, you want to talk about negative football, the centre forward was in the 18-yard line defending. They were awful. It's someone like they had never had a shot in the whole game. They didn't touch the ball once in the box. That was good.
That competition's only really good when you get into like a semi and then the finals. It sort of gets interesting then, but like the group stages are fucking horrendous. Like, you teams like Rangers and all in there, like looking like world beaters in there, like.
Rangers are looking strong. You see the thing about it as well. They've got this thing starting next year called the UEFA Conference League, and this is going to be the 3rd tier. So it's going to be like an hour 30 odd teams on it. Like I was saying about this, like why not shorten these competitions down to like 16 teams each one, make it more competitive and even less games for players, because there's a big argument for time too much. So why not have 16 team competitions starting in February? You know what I mean? Instead of all these points, because even these Champions League games, there's a lot of look at Chelsea just rolling teams over, Man City rolling teams over, Michelin. These teams aren't on the level of these other teams. There's a lot of pointless games.
That's the way the old format was. So that was just the champions of each league. Like, that's where I feel sorry for Celtic, like, because they've won the league like how many years in a row, like, and they never get into the Champions League. It's called the Champions League, like, and they're champions of their own league. Like, I don't think they should have to qualify.
Well, look, imagine Celtic in the Champions League this year.
I know, but like, I mean, by right, like, they're champions of their own league. Like, I think they should be entitled to get under the Champions League, like, for winning their group, like, or winning their league.
That's an interesting topic, but for me, definitely could be doing something to shorten these competitions down because there's a lot of pointless games. Going to move on. Spurs are away to Lask. Now, you would be familiar with them. He's played them last year. Pretty poor team as well. I think Spurs will win this 2-0 because I think if they won this, they're guaranteed to finish top or near enough in the league. They're guaranteed qualification at a point if they won it. I think we know about strong team out and make sure they get the job done. Last game, and they can put out a second string. I think they'll win that. I'm not going to really ask you your predictions in these games because you probably haven't been watching much of it.
No.
I think last probably.
No, I do. I watch it. Like, any night football's on. Yeah, any night football's on. Like, I watch it. Like, I sort of watch a Celtic or we'll try and watch it Dundalk or maybe whack on Arsenal. All depends where you have me a cum.
Leicester's away to Zoria. I fancy them. They won that 3-1. I'm going to chat to you about this team because you've spoken a couple of times. AC Milan's playing Celtic. I know Celtic's out. How do you think this game will go?
Well, who's at home? Celtic?
Well, it's San Siro. It's AC Milan.
It'll be 3 or 4-0.
Well, would you watch Celtic? You'd be quite upset. Would you be a Celtic fan as well?
No, I wouldn't be a Celtic fan. Like, I've been more a Celtic fan of recent because I fucking hate Steven Gerrard. So.
Well, see the thing about it is they're actually out now, so there's not really point in playing strong because they have to try and focus on winning the league now in Scotland. But do you think I've gone for a 3-0 AC Milan one? I think it's pretty irrelevant to what happens, to be honest. I don't think Neil Lennon's position will improve or get worse based on this game because it's completely meaningless. But do you think this year this is the first year really since their league's in jeopardy, and especially by being 10 in a row? There's a real chance Rangers go in the league this year.
Rangers are like credit where credit's due. Rangers are playing good stuff. Like, but I think it's a wee bit. I don't think you can just write it off just yet because they still have to play Rangers a couple of times, like so. And it's like Rangers took last season, they had a good lead, and then they ended up falling behind 14 points. So I wouldn't just write it off just yet. But obviously they're definitely in a strong position. They go on the league.
I have to be. I don't really watch much of Scottish football. I've been seeing some of the Rangers and Celtic games in the Europa League. When it's been on, just watch the highlights after. Rangers look strong. They're playing good football. They don't. I think in recent years, yeah, they haven't seen it through, but they look a much more better team this year. The way they went and won at Celtic Park, I think it was a couple of months ago. It was really impressive. Like, you think about the year before, they won 2-1, but they were hanging on. They were in complete control of that game. I think Celtic are under serious pressure to try and stay with them because Rangers don't look like a team that's going to drop too many points. And Celtic need almost one. I think they played on the 2nd of January at Ibrox. I think Celtic need to win every game until then to have any chance going on there, and they'll have to get at least a draw or win that game.
How many times do they have to play them, did you say?
Well, they have to play them at Ibrox now on the 2nd of January, and then I think the way the Scottish League works, and somebody might...
There's a playoff in the top 6.
The league split, don't they? So they'll play each other at least twice more. Well, at least one of them will be at Ibrox. I'm not sure what way it works for the third game. It must be a draw or something, I'm not sure. But the fans might be back, but I don't think it's going to be a full stadium, so it's not going to be the same kind of atmosphere. So there's a big argument that these home and away games don't really matter at the moment. So, but I think they've got it all to do, and Celtic don't look like a team capable of winning 4, 5, 6 in the points at the moment. They really need to change it.
No.
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen with Neil Lennon? Do you think is he going to see the season out?
No, he can't. Like,
you think now? I know it's safe in this game, but if they really drop any more points in the league, you think that's it? Because they'll look at it. We need to make sure we don't fall out of reach here. Do you know what I mean?
They have to won all their games now until they play Rangers. Like, have they won all their games until they play Rangers again? Like,
won't slip up in that a bit because they'll think, right, we need to change it now or it's over.
It's too late already.
I'm not a big Celtic fan, but some I've spoke to have actually said they don't really blame Neil Lennon for it because the board's allowed Rangers to become strong. They've allowed this to happen. And there's no doubt that Gerrard knows. He seems like he knows what he's doing there. He looks like a good coach. I think if be a lot of teams in England looking at him now. You look at Rodgers when he done well in Scotland, he was pulled under the frame again. So you think maybe you look at somewhere like I think Newcastle. He's been like with Newcastle before his year. I think he'd be a good fit to go in there. If they do well this year, he'd be a great fit.
Well, that's it too. Like, but it's as you say, like it's a Scottish league. Like, maybe you could go down and manage Rangers, like, and probably get in the top two, like Rangers or Celtic, like. So.
That's fair as well, I suppose. Going to finish off with these last few predictions. Arsenal's playing Rapid Vienna at home. Pretty meaningless game. Arsenal's qualified. They'll probably put out a second string team, and it'll be like a feel good factor. They'll probably win, and the cheerleaders will be back again.
Oh, what thing?
I've gone for 2-0 1. I don't see any way they'll not win that game, to be honest. Moving on. Molde's playing Dundalk. Dundalk's out. How they play for again. How do you think? Have you been watching much of Dundalk's games in the Europa League?
I've watched a couple of games. They haven't been. They've done themselves. They've done themselves well. Like, I think, like, coming from the Irish League, I think they've played alright. But I think it's just too. Like, it's too high of a standard, so it is for them. Like,
I think it's one of them. It's just look at it and you think it's the lack of quality and you get punished at that level for not taking your chances, don't you? Like, you look at missing penalties, and you just can't miss penalties in games when you're Dundalk.
No.
Even against Arsenal, I think they were like 3 minutes. They half time, and the keeper just throws one on the net. You just can't get away with stuff at that level if you're Dundalk. I think this could be a game they take a bit of beating because I think they've got all they play for now. I've gone for 3-0 Molde 1. Last game we've touched on Rangers against Standard Liège. Rangers need a point, I think, to secure qualification. Do you think they'll get it? Home to Standard Liège?
They'll beat Standard Liège.
I think 1-2-1, but it'll be interesting to see. But that's the only thing that might help Celtic. If they do qualify for the latter stages, they've got more games and they might, pick up injuries. Interesting to see how that impacts the title race in Scotland.
No, that could impact it. They might just have too far a lead now, but for Celtic to catch them. But I would love to see it. Like, I'd love to see Celtic catch them.
It's interesting, because Celtic have signed a couple of good players. Like Duffy's come on, Premier League standard. Your man Laxat's come on from AC Milan. Like, you don't know. I don't know what's going on up there at the moment.
He's had a bad start. Hey, Duffy, hasn't he? But he is a good centre half. Like,
confidence seems to be going. Like, and even looking at him for Ireland there in the last couple of games, he looked a bit shaky too. And he's never been shaky.
He's a good centre half. Like, I rate Duffy highly, but he's had a few risky matches. Like,
to be honest, I'm going to be controversial. I think if Neil Lennon gets sacked now, they have a chance at turning this round. I think if they let this go on another couple of weeks, I think not that he's lost the dressing room. I think I don't know if he's lost the dressing room, but I think the players look disinterested, to be honest. I think they need a change. I think I'd love them completely. Now,
did you see Pochettino going on or something?
I guess you have thought about, and it'd be a great appointment for both people, for Celtic and for the manager, Eddie Howe.
He would be a good fit. Eddie Howe would be good.
I think his reputation's talk about a hammering after he probably stayed at Bournemouth too long. He was getting linked with Everton, even Spurs before Mourinho came on. He was getting linked with that job. He was getting linked.
There was even talk about him coming to United too.
And then he gets Bournemouth relegated, and they were relegated in goal difference or a point or something. And Bournemouth had money for years and kept them in the league, and they played some good football. And a lot of their finishes were like mid-table. They were never really in any danger of going down. It's like the way it is with Burnley at the moment. John Dice is doing a good job, but eventually you're going to have a season where you just struggle.
I fancy Burnley to get relegated this year.
They could be a good shout to go down, but I think Eddie Howe would be a great shout for Celtic. I don't think Pochettino. I'm not saying Pochettino was too good for that job, but I think Pochettino will get a lot more offers, better offers than Celtic. And actually, do you know what? I think if there's any manager that can replace Ollie, it's going to be him. I think, and if you ask all the Liverpool fans, right, they're actually hoping Ollie stays on because they're feared of Pochettino coming on, because they know what what he can do. When he turns Spurs around, like Spurs are mid-table, when he come on, Monday a team that could challenge for the league. The one thing you would say about it is he hasn't won a trophy. But there's only so much you can do as a manager as well. Some of them games of players just doesn't turn up. You need a bit of luck.
I wouldn't take Pochettino, like.
No, actually, I think he made mistakes to Spurs, and he'll be a better manager for it. I think if Ollie doesn't work out with Ollie, Pochettino could be a United manager next year. And I think it's a job he wants. I think it's waiting for that job.
I love everybody winning Solskjaer. I love everybody winning Solskjaer. I feel, but it's brilliant because if they're hoping that Ollie stays in the job, like there's only one way he's going to stay in the job, and that's if he's doing well. So if they're hoping for that there, so am I, because
it's quite funny on it the way that works out. That sort of Liverpool fans sort of hoping United won because they're thinking, "Oh, I'll give Ollie more time." But that's it.
Exactly. So like if we keep winning, like we're gonna be going places, like, so it doesn't bother me. Like I think the talk about Solskjaer is just unjustified. But sure, we've already covered that. Like,
I think the whole thing about Pochettino was just basically Ollie doesn't get the respect that maybe a Pochettino has. But there's no guarantee it would work at Pochettino. Every manager.
Well, like I wouldn't necessarily like. No, I don't know. It's just madness about Solskjaer. I can't even get on that type because I'm not going to compare him to Pochettino. Pochettino's obviously more proven, but Jesus, like what Solskjaer really done wrong? Like we were 14 points off getting on the top four in January, and we turned it around like and got on third, like ahead of Lampard. No one's calling for Lampard, like 3 semi-finals last year too.
Do you know when things go wrong? It's almost like I think players have to go out and prove that they're playing for the manager every time Solskjaer needs a result. It's almost like he gets a reaction from the players. So it would suggest that the players are on his side and they are backing him. So it'd be interesting to see how it works out. I actually think that Ollie will still be in May, and I think even if someone like Pochettino was looking to come in and United wanted him, it wouldn't happen one season anyway. I think the only way Ollie doesn't see the season out is if he's took a really bad turn and then they give the job to Carrick until the summer or something like that. But I think Ollie will be there. I think he'll have still a decent season. I think obviously he'll be targeting top 4 and trying to win a cup. As you say, it's an open season, anything could happen. And if he won 6-7 games at the bounce, who knows where he can end up. Coming up this Christmas period now, it's you'll see it. I think come out of the end of the year, have a look at the table and see where you are, and then you can maybe set where you're going to be towards May. Next 7-8 games are going to be crucial for teams, isn't it?
Definitely. The Christmas period's always busy, like, but it's even busier this year. I love it. I love football going on 24/7. Like, I swear.
You know what? As well, we're going to miss it. See when these fans come back and all these games get back these sort of 3 o'clock and all. It's not going to. I think it's going to be worse because obviously we love here in Ireland, so we don't be going to games. We can't be close. And I understand fans in England they can't wait till the games get back because they go every single week. We can't do that, so it's going to be shite for us.
No, I love football. Like literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's on all week. Like it's brilliant.
You might need a liver transplant over Christmas, with all these games on.
Oh, what? I need a liver transplant already, guy.
So you better watch the games.
What's that? Oh, the bars?
No, they're all open there, aren't they?
Did you? They're like I'm in Liverpool at the minute here. They're opening tomorrow, so I'll probably my cousin's coming up tomorrow, so I'll be definitely out this weekend. Like United West Ham 5:30, so I'll be out for that.
Game on Saturday. Just before we go, how do you see that game going Saturday? West Ham United.
Tough fight. We played them at Old Trafford there just before the end of last season. They're 1 each. They're always going to be a hard team to beat. Like, not even just what.
Funny team. They turn up some games and they just don't turn up other weeks.
It's one of them games. Like it's the question that's always remained like about Solskjaer. Can we beat the low block? Like they are going to set up tight. Like so. But no, if we can beat PSG tomorrow and beat West Ham, like the momentum will really start fucking shifting then. Like.
So before we go on, what would you say to United fans that's doubting Ollie? What would your message to them be? And any other fan that even's doubting them and saying, "Oh, he's no good," what would your message be? What would your final message be to them?
Keep doubting.
Keep doubting them. And what about United fans that are, maybe not? Do they think you have to get behind them now and really rally behind them towards at least getting to the end of the season?
I just think the United fans that ain't behind them, like, no. Like, why would you not be behind your manager? Like, when United go out and, like, beat PSG, beat Man City, like, it's always the players. But then when we lose a game, and it's like, it's on Solskjaer. So, no, what?
It's a cruel job. People think all the money they get, but manager side, the mental health side of it, I would say, is an absolute nightmare because they're constantly reading stuff about them.
Solskjaer looks like he's aged about 40 years, like, so Jesus Christ. No, but I'm Solskjaer, like, all right, the wheels, they would say, guy.
Hey Zach, thanks very much for coming on. Definitely going to be on again because I really enjoyed the show. I'm sure a lot of people enjoyed it as well. Hey, best of luck for the season, we United.
No bars in yourself, guy.
Same as. Hey, thanks very much, lad. I'll see
Good
you
luck,
later on.
Ty. Right, Gary.